Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Another Grom video for you guys. Now, real quick, I know last week I said I was going to be doing a Mustang video, but that's at the alignment shop right now, and it was supposed to be done, but when he was driving it back, the mechanic, the front passenger caliper was locked up on him, so that was crazy. I didn't even know that the brakes were going bad, so I'm going to figure that out. I think at this point I'm going to order my own brake kit, and it's a big brake kit, so I'm going to need new wheels, so that's pretty sick. But that's why that video is delayed, but trust me, it's going to be sick when it's done. So yeah, let's start off with the next round of parts that we got for the bike. Last week's video we did the integrated taillight, the fender eliminator kit looks sick, and the front integrated turn signals too. So now that we have the cosmetic stuff out of the way, we're going to start with some performance stuff or just some like control minor things. Alright, so we got all the boxes pretty much cut open, so I can work with my one hand here. From MNNTHBX, couldn't remember that if I tried. Got their pretty sick intake kit. This is what I'm gonna unbox first. This is what we're doing in this video. You'll have to stop by for next week's video to see the levers, the new bars install, and all that, but I'm just gonna unbox it today. So we got like intake tube there, we got the filter, we got the secondary, what do they call that, crankcase filter or crankcase breather or something, something like that. So we'll get all that assembled. I already did unbox this because it was in a little package. This is my clutch lever. It's a One Finger is the brand, 1FNGR. Also VF, I think happens to be a manufacturer, something like that. But it's basically light pull enough to be able to use one finger, but also throw two on there if you wanted to. So we'll see how that works next video. In this box is the new bars setup that I'm going to try out. If I end up liking the stock bars better, I end up liking the stock bars better, but I want to try these. So these are ProTaper SE series 7/8, so they're meant for these like mini bikes that use a 7/8 bar instead of a 1 1/8. And these are the CR high bend, so they're a little bit higher than what the normal ProTapers are, but still a little bit lower than the stock. The stocks come up pretty high, so we'll see how that looks. I'm not going to run this pad. That's pretty much just for like motocross. So I'm really excited for this, so stop in next week to see that. But we're going to do the intake today. That's pretty exciting. I'm excited to see how it affects throttle control and all that. So intake out of the way, he's crushing up all these bags. And then we have ASV lever. So I did go unmatching levers. If I don't like this clutch lever, then I'll just get another ASV. But this one looks sick, dude. So they're pretty much like very similar length, honestly. I almost wish I got the shorty with this. This is the medium length. I almost wish I got the short one. But we'll see how it is when it's on the bar. I'm sure I'll like it. And then the brake lever. ASV is a pretty reputable brand, and they're unbreakable levers, so they'll bend whichever which way if the bar were or if the bike were to get dropped. And they're fully adjustable. So got our new levers, brake, and clutch. And then, last but not least, there's still some parts on the way. We got the USPS van sitting out there, but he's delivering to every house but mine, so I don't know, we'll see if I got any parts on there. But got the stubby, grippy foot pegs, and these have a good weight to them, so these will replace our like stock rubber ones. I like these a lot more. It's more just gonna be for looks than anything, but hopefully it'll give me a little bit more control. Not that I have control issues with the stock bike. So he's playing with the adjustability, but yeah, that's all the parts that I have in stock right now. I still have grips on the way for the bars. I'm going to reuse my stock bar ends because I like the stock Grom bar ends and there's nothing wrong with them. And rear brake is what I was going to order. So this one,
we're gonna do 2 of those.
Yeah, this one's really bad. Oh my god, you can it's so bad from this angle. So like this is supposed to be flat for your foot, but it's so far up that like I have to cock my foot back, and it's really uncomfortable after a while of riding. So, and I'll accidentally just like put pressure on the brake, and I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna order 2 of those because Nick's is a little bit bent as well. We both dropped our bikes on that side. So
I have one.
Oh, you have one, that's right. So I don't need to order 2. We just have to do it.
We'll be doing 2.
Okay, and that's a huge pain in the ass. We were gonna do this when we were doing his build, but we started taking bolts out for this and realized there's like springs attached and you have to have it a certain way. We didn't really know what we were doing, so we're going to just do both of these at the same time whenever I get my brake lever. But yeah, anyway, without further ado, let's just get into the intake part of the video. and then we'll see where that takes us. All right, so to start off the install of this intake, we're for sure gonna have to take this bearing off because the intake comes to right about here, and this is the intake box in the front. I'm not sure if we'll have to take this one off, but it's super easy, so I'm just gonna take both sides off just in case we need it, and it'll give us more room to work with the factory airbox, which we are deleting. So for the fairings, we are gonna need a 5mm Allen. Good thing I got the trusty light on my GoPro, so I can see in here way better. Yeah, guys, I'm not expecting really any difference with the new intake, at least not yet, because I mean, it's supposed to increase throttle control and throttle response, so that's really the main thing I'm going to be checking out in this video. So let's turn this on before we get too far into this. So yeah, factory exhaust, this has got to go. I actually do have the Yoshi on the way, but it has been delayed. So really that was supposed to be first and then do the intake just to see the whole overall like power increase, but we're not going to see much power increase with the stock exhaust because there's so many like baffles and little things in there to control the pressure. When you upgrade your exhaust, it gets rid of all those baffles. The back pressure has been reduced, so you have to get the intake to make up for that, and then usually a tune as well would pick up a lot of power. But let's just see what our throttle is looking like right now. So like, I'll do my best to show you on camera. It's more like a feel thing, but like that little bit of rock, the intake's not going to fix that. That's going to be a clutch lever, or that's going to be a throttle cable combined with like tuning these things. I'm not really too familiar with how that works, but so you can see like right at the end of the play there, I'll start to turn it, but it still takes like another maybe 2 degrees, 3 degrees to actually get there, so it's not going to be a huge deal. I am thinking about replacing these with the TST hardware pack, because these are like an painted plastic, I'm pretty sure. I'll see in a second when I take them off. Pretty sure that's what they are. But the TST ones you can get in either plastic or in anodized aluminum, which I'm looking at. I don't really care what the material is. I'm just more not a huge fan of these chrome, I guess silver rings. Although I talked about this last video, there is a fair bit of chrome / silver on this bike with this rear set and the forks, of course. But I'm planning on getting these forks wrapped. I'm not sure what color, but I think black would be like, yellow is really hard to match with, right? So pretty much everything I've ordered for this bike has been black so far. So I'll see. The forks will probably be like my last thing, but I'm thinking these will be black as well, like either a matte black or a shiny black. But I think like the shiny black would go well because this is shiny, this is shiny, this is shiny, so that's probably my move. But jeez, can you believe these freaking kids are on Surons now? I don't know if my camera just picked them up, but it's crazy to me that kids are like 12 years old on electric bikes. It's insane. So guys, if you ever want to run a drill bit, or like I guess a screw bit, you can get a 1/4 inch socket. Put that guy in there. It's not going to lock you in, so you gotta be careful. And then put the socket on the little ratchet, and that should give us the clearance we need. Might even need, no, actually that's perfect. Hell yeah. No need for a short screwdriver. You can just put it on here. Sweet. Okay. I guess if I wanted to, I could have put a 1/4 inch socket on my electric ratchet, gotten it, but a little overkill for this application. So there's 1, and there's 2. Alright. Rocking the Ghost America pop today. This one's pretty fire. Red, white, and blue. I love these pops as a kid. Those little rocket pops. This is the adult version, I guess. Wakes you up a little bit too, depending on your tolerance to caffeine. Alright, so we're pretty much ready for these fairings to come off. This is the first time these are coming off, so I have no idea how this is going to go, but probably easy because it is Honda. I love Honda, man. This almost makes me want to get a little Honda car to play around with, but I doubt it's going to be the same level of easiness. And these are kind of hard to pop off. I'm not sure if these silver rings are holding them in there still. It's probably just stuck because it's never been taken off before. There we go. Oh jeez, I didn't think it was supposed to sound like I'm breaking stuff. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay, so they just kind of hook on there, I see. Hopefully I'm not breaking it. What do we got here? Pop. It's like this corner right here. It's not gonna pop. There we go. Okay. Fender, or I guess fairing number 1. I'm gonna put these like right here actually. Don't take up as much space. Alright, and this is the main one that we needed to be able to get our intake. Again, I just took the other one off to make it easier for me, but I'm not sure if you actually do need to take it off or not. Figure, with it only being 3 bolts, 2 screws, not too bad. Okay, I see. So it's these little tabs that pinch. Cool. So when Nick was replacing the fairings on his bike, he replaced these because they were all scratched up and dented from his fall. We had to take these clips off the stock fairing and transfer them over. So we're not going to do that because we're putting these right back on. Oh, man, look at how sparkly the paint is still. That's insane. I'm trying to keep it like that for as long as I can. This part is more scratched up. I'm not sure if they used a different paint because it's not really that sparkly. And it shows the water spots a lot more. It's probably just because it's black, honestly, but you can see like my sweat smearing on there from yesterday. So yeah, I was riding this bike. So Nick and I have been doing some scouting around the area. Because once we're done with mods for this bike, we're gonna do like a cool little Grom shenanigans video or something like that. So we've been scouting out off camera like our top places that we're gonna want to go for that. So it's not just like a random ride, you know. We're gonna actually have some fun and do some cool stuff. So stay subscribed, don't miss that one. It's coming up probably 4 or 5 videos from now, something like that. We'll see. This is probably the tool that I've had for the longest, this extension in particular, which is hilarious. So yeah, we needed that just for this guy, which I could have gotten probably with the regular. Yeah, but this extension gives us longer reach, so that's cool. Wow, that was a short bolt. Very short. Okay. Cool. So that one was the bottom of the 2 that are in here. So we need this guy right here. Get in there and just kind of ease into it, let the gun do the work. See, like that. That was not good. You might not be able to see this one, but it is right under this airbox thing. So there. Then we need this guy too. Forgot. Pretty much everything on the side here has to come off. Yeah, that was definitely the last one. Alright, so on the right side, we have another 10 mil to take out right here, smack dab in the middle. Might have to move this hose out of the way just a tiny bit. Alright. Okay, so we got our intake tube here, which we are going to disconnect from the other side. I think that'll be the easiest way. Let me get our, well, I'm going to do my Phillips again now, so. Could have just grabbed it earlier, but no. Alright. So this is like kind of hard to see. But if you follow that tube from the other side, you'll see a clamp. Yeah, the camera's probably not even going to pick this up. But there is a clamp. Wow, that's really tight. Okay. So that's a good idea of how tight I'm going to need to make it when we install the new intake. So there's a couple different options for intakes that I've seen on the internet. One of them being the Chimera short ram intake. I think that's the most popular. That's the one that Nick got. It's also the cheapest that I found. Very simple. Just pretty much the same install as what I'm doing now. I think there's just not a crankcase breather like the MNNTHBX. MNNTHBX. That one has like a full crankcase breather and a secondary filter, which is really cool. So, by the way, I did get to the bottom of it last night. MNNTHBX is man in the box. Never would have thought that, but it does make sense. So why wouldn't you just make your company man in the box then? I guess it's cool. It's a dope looking intake, that's for sure. Alright, so here's the tube that we tried to disconnect. Here's the clamp that we were getting from the other side. I don't think I have to take this clamp all the way off, but I'm going to. Alright, that is all the way. And then we have to disconnect this sensor right up in here. Best way is to come from underneath here, and it's easier if you got little fingers like me. But even so, okay, I'm gonna pull this a little bit just to get in there. And it's one of those pinch and pull clips, so let me try and get behind it. I'm pinching it, I'm pulling it. Oh, okay, right there. Easy, okay. So you just have to push on the end part right there where there's some grooves for your thumb. So that sensor came off really easily. Alright, so next step is this little secondary breather, which I do have to find. I think I just found it. It is on the back of the airbox, and not sure what the best way to get this guy is. So the GoPro turned off because it was too hot. And I don't know how to deal with that, dude, really, because this is not even that hot of a day compared to what we're used to. So 77 degrees, it's really humid. But this GoPro was like 150 degrees, like it burned my hand, so I don't know what's going on with that. It's funny, no matter how new these GoPros get, they cannot figure out how to get them cooled. Because I had a Hero 4, that was my first GoPro, and this is a Hero 13. So 9 GoPros later, still haven't figured that out. I mean, it's probably really hard to figure out. I just don't know how these things produce so much heat. And I couldn't imagine, like, if I lived in, like, Florida or something, dude, like, what would content be like, you know what I mean? Obviously, content would be better year-round because there's no snow and no cold. Yo, look at this dude. Hell yeah, bro. That's what's up. That's why I want a Suron right there. He's fucking cooking it. He's got that balance point figured out, and he's, like, 14 years old. That's insane. Yeah, all my neighbors up and down the street have these electric bikes. They're not Surons. They're cheaper. They're the ones that you can pedal, too, but, it's crazy, dude. Like, I'm jealous, honestly. When I was a kid, it was this bike right here. I had this Haro BMX. It's got these shortened bars. Easier to do like bar tricks, like spins and all that. Although I can't do bar tricks because this brake cable. I almost called it throttle, but brake. But yeah, this is my OG Haro. I used to shred it at the skate park with this. That's what kind of founded my love for like stunting and wheelies and all that. I bought this on like eBay for like 50 bucks when I was like 14 or 13 or some shit, and all these kids are riding these freaking electric bikes. That's crazy. Alright, so anyway, I forgot where I left off when this battery, the battery didn't die, but the GoPro overheated. But this is pretty much all disconnected, this intake box. Looks like I am gonna have to disconnect this guy from its seat because this whole thing is coming out, and I did end up getting that hose out. You can kind of see that nub right there. I just had to pull it. It was actually easier to get the left side of the bike. So I'm pretty sure this is all ready to come out. Oh, except for the tube down here. I undid this clamp, so it should just be easy. Pull right off. Let's see. Come on, get off of there. There we go. Okay. So now, just have to do some stretching, and I think this is where it helps having the left fender off. For sure, yeah, the left fairing off. And then we kind of have to tilt this tube out. Oh yeah. It's funny. Nick, if you're watching this, which you probably are, this was not hard at all, man. I don't know what you're talking about. It's a little difficult, but it's not as hard as you were making it seem, dude. I'm also trying not to scratch this. So I wonder if it's just because I took both sides off. I think taking this side off, even though it seemed like we didn't need it, made it way easier, especially to get to some of those hose clamps, especially this one right here. So yeah, factory airbox off. Yeah, big honking thing. Alright, so I got all my parts here that came in the package. A little bracket for mounting. Got our breather filter, yeah, for venting crankcases, differentials, etc. A hose, a little sensor, the tube, some clamps, the air filter, and the air filter clamp. The only thing that we'll need from the stock airbox is this sensor fitting, whatever you call this, because we're going to attach that to the bracket right there. So that allows us to plug in our new sensor. That's where this guy comes in. And yeah, that's exactly what we needed. Cool duel. This guy can probably go in the garbage. I'll keep it here for now. Okay, so got this pretty much assembled off camera. We had our Walmart delivery a minute ago, so had to take care of that. But yeah, this is pretty much good to go. This replaces that hose that I was talking about, so I'll have to remove that off the bike. And just making sure that this clamp is like, I had to tighten the crap out of it. So I don't even know if it was the right one, but they only gave me one smaller clamp, so that's what it's got to be for. And then the zip tie has got to be for the back. And then this remaining bolt will mount this up to the bike's chassis. So let's get busy removing anything on the stock setup that we don't need anymore. So this hose is one of them. Yoink. Okay, got it. Stock hose off, that's where our new one's gonna plug in. Can't forget about that. And then also the sensor, which I think is on the other side. Let's see if this just wants to plug right up in there, or if I need to do some further wiring here. Nope, just plugs in place. All right, cool, perfect. I'll let that chill there for a second. It's a good boy. Good boy. So the GoPro kept heating up. I am sweaty. I kept heating up. Just probably like in the top 10 hardest things I've ever done. Not the intake install, but this part specifically. So here's the intake, right, all set up, hooked up down there. Looks really good. The hardest part was this stupid little breather hose where that green zip tie is. That goes all the way back there. Now, if you guys are doing this at home, try this for me. Try doing that hose first. Put that in back there before you even connect it here, before you even set this bracket up. Try that first, because I had like no room with this tube here to be able to work it onto that fitting. So you might see I've got another green zip tie down there. It took me 3 zip ties to try and get it around there, because there's like no room. Still not all the way on the barb as the OEM one was. There's just no way to get your fingers in there. You can pretty much only come in from the back here and like touch it right there in order to get it onto the barb. So enough yapping. That was a pain in the fucking ass. All this other stuff was easy, good. So I'm pretty much just gonna throw the filter on here, put the fairings back on, and start up the bike and see what difference it makes. So okay, so I figured before we put the fairings on to start it up and make sure everything's running right. So yeah, let's do it. Check engine light still. That might be normal, I'll look it up. I mean, I think that sensor's plugged in. Yeah, sensor's there. And it runs all the way over to here, where it's plugged in, so I'm not sure why we have a CDL, but we do. That's weird. Maybe the tune will get rid of that. See how it feels. I mean, it's definitely more immediate. Oh yeah. It even sounds different. Like the deep growl. Like obviously the exhaust note still sounds the same, but like I don't know. Can you guys notice that? Like yeah, that's way different. That boom, boom, that deep part. So wow, I like that. Yeah. Oh wow, it gets up to the revs a lot quicker now too. I think this is actually a good mod, dude. I gotta figure that out, but see if we can get some suction noises from down here. That sounds way better. Holy crap. I wasn't expecting it to change the sound that much. Man, I like this thing. Sweet. That's a thumbs up from me, dude, for sure. Also, if you missed last week's video, go check it out. We just installed these sequential tail lights, and obviously the fender eliminator kit and the front integrated tail lights. We messed around with the relay a little bit. So yeah, if you guys are interested in that, go check out last week's video. I'll put it like right up here in the top right corner. I think that's the top right, unless it flips it in the editor, we'll see. But Oh yeah, guys, I'm just gonna throw the fairings back on and then wrap up this video. Alright, so there you have it. That is the finished MNNTHBX Man-in-the-Box V3 intake. So you can see it's just hanging out quietly in there. Really hard to see from the side. And then our crankcase breather there that came with it. Overall, very, very cool kit. It comes with everything you need, and it actually removes a lot, i.e. that airbox. They send you a replacement breather hose. All of these, including these two that are for the airbox and these two that are for the sensor on the airbox, all of these are not needed. 3 on the one side, actually 4 on the one side, including this 10 mil. And then one of these little Phillips on the right side and another 10 mil from the right side are not needed because those all screw in somewhere on the airbox, whether it be right there, which, by the way, see how our filter is doing. I mean, not too bad. It only had 500 miles on it, or less than 500, so this filter could still be used, but I wanted to upgrade because I eventually want to put the Yoshi exhaust and tune it, which should get rid of that check engine light, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, guys, if you like this video, give it a big old thumbs up down below. That would help me out a lot. It shows that you guys are enjoying this content. Yeah, guys, make sure you subscribe. Don't miss anything that's coming up next. We got these ProTaper bars that are going to go on there. I think I'm going to get rid of this little foam pad. But then we got the clutch lever, shortened clutch lever. We got the ASV. This is like top of the line adjustable brake lever. It's unbreakable, so it'll go back the other way. Oh, there's an ant in there. And then we got these grip and foot pegs, and then today at some point my new grip should be delivered too. So we'll be able to redo pretty much the whole bar setup on this. That is going to be in 2 videos, because next video we're getting the Mustang back for the alignment. I'm going to take you through everything that they did, specs, all that, and my plans for that car. And then after that video, 2 weeks from now, will be the bars and everything like that, because I really want to take my time on the install and make sure that it's good. So yeah, guys, with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. It means the most to me. And yeah, I'll see you next Sunday. Stay objective driven.